First things first, I'm in a suit. That's right, a suit. For a YouTube video? What? So fancy. You've got to dress for the job you want, not the job you have. That's what they say. A coworker told me that once, and then got fired about a week later. I'm not sure if the two things are connected, but I don't know if that motto works completely. But I filmed a virtual event for a client today, and I thought, you know what? I'm not going to waste this suit. I'm going to do a video in it and let the people know, you're the people, that I own more than just black t-shirts. I have a varied wardrobe. I never really wore a suit to work when I was in corporate America. It just wasn't something I had to do for any job I have. And I was also never a big cubicle decorator guy. Did you ever work with that dude? He was the best. I worked with a guy who had a small Persian rug, like a pretty nice Persian rug, an espresso machine, and a personal chair in his cubicle at work, like a chair he brought from home. Every time I came over to ask him for a question or for something, I felt like I needed to put on a smoking jacket first and maybe get a pipe carved out of a burl of wood from the side of Italy. He wanted those 3.5 fabric walls to feel as homey as possible. That was his whole mission. I work at home now. This is my office. So my workspace is a little different, but I recently discovered something new for my desk that I absolutely love. A friend gave me this mini whiteboard, and it is the greatest thing in the world. Today, I'm going to tell you why I love this thing so much. In fact, I'm going to give you 5 reasons this is the best thing on my desk. This is my favorite thing. Here's why. All right, reason number 1 that I love this thing. All right, this thing is not too small and not too big. It's just right. It's Goldilocks sized. That's what I'd say is reason number 1. It's big enough for me to put everything I need to get done on it every day, but not so big that I end up writing down 100 to-do list items and feeling like an absolute failure at the end of the day. That's a game I like to play with myself. I end up brainstorming my to-do list and completely overwhelming myself. This little guy doesn't let me do that. I only have room for a handful of things, but it's big enough that in addition to daily tasks, I can write down bigger ideas I want to look at for a few days. I'll show you how I use it. So every morning, I come down and go whoop, 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 whoop. And I say, okay, September 21st. And then I just list out what are the handful of things I know I need to get done today. Okay, so I'm going to send client slide deck. All right, need to do that. I'm going to respond to my editor. I'm going to schedule client meeting, different client. And so then what I can do over here is go, okay, here's some big ideas I'm trying to think about. So there's this phrase that's been bouncing around my head called double down. I've been thinking about what does it look like to double down. That's not a to-daily, that's great. That's not a to-daily. You know how you have your to-dailies? That's not something I'm going to finish today, but it's a big idea I don't want to lose. So this guy might float on this board for the entire week. But these, I'll work on just today. That's the first way I use it. I love that it's big enough to hold both of those types of ideas, but not so big that I could put 10,000 ideas on here. Because then, again, it gets overwhelming. It becomes too many ideas for me to work on. That's the first way I use it. Reason number 2, crossing items off is the best feeling in the world. Have you ever written something down on your to-do list after you've already done it, just for the sheer pleasure of crossing it off? That's the best. I don't get that same feeling from using digital products. I like that at the end of the day, I can cross off the items that I've completed. Boop, boop, boop. That's so satisfying to me. That's a big 3. The third reason that I love this thing is that it's not visually dominating. I like that it's easy to get a quick glance at what I'm working on each day, but it's not all I see. I want to look out the window, like, look, there's trees out there and a yard, like there's birds and life, and more cats use this as a highway than I ever knew until I started looking out that window. I want to get some sunshine. I want to be reminded that there's a whole world outside. If I had a massive whiteboard in front of me, I'd feel a little visibly trapped. Not so with this guy. Everything is front and center, but it doesn't dominate my view. This is the corner of my desk. So like the rest of the desk is this way. So I always see what I'm working on, but it's not all I see. Reason number 4 that I love this thing is that it's thoughtfully designed. It sits on an angle. You can see from a side view, it sits on an angle. So your ideas are kind of angled towards you. It's got a lip for markers. Look, marker right there. It's glass, so it's super easy to clean. Oh, that's nice and also satisfying. Oh, look at that. It's all gone. And it's even got a little drawer. Look, there's a hidden drawer back here to store other markers. So there's not a ton of bells and whistles. You're not going to scan this into a PDF automatically, or this doesn't have Wi-Fi like this thing. Like some fridges have Wi-Fi, but God help me if I'm ever using the Wi-Fi in my fridge. Like if that's what it comes down to, I've had a really terrible rest of my day. But it does everything I want it to do in a really simple way. And I love the simplicity of that. The 5th and final reason, I drew a pretty amazing 5 on there, that I love this thing is that it's cheap. Right now on Amazon. Do you have Amazon? I do. It's awesome. Right now it's only $21. Do you know who pays for your office products when you're a small business? You do. I'm the CEO of this whole thing. I don't have some fancy office products business account I can expense stuff to. There's not somebody in another office, like a manager that I can get approval for and be like, we're getting whiteboards. I can't be buying whiteboards made of ivory encrusted with diamonds. Is that a thing? If it is, I bet DJ Khalid has one at his house in Turks and Caicos. I think I said Turks right, but not DJ Khalid. Now, I'm not sponsored by the company that makes these, but if Quartet wants to reach out and dry erase my entire wall, I'm game. One of these days, the queso lobbyists are also going to realize that I'm ready to play ball, and they'll finally sponsor the heck out of my life. Until then, the link to this bad boy is in the description. I highly recommend this mini dry erase board. I absolutely love it. It's my new favorite thing that sits on the corner of my desk. Tell me in the comments what's something that's in your office, home office, work office, that you absolutely love. Like what's the thing on your desk that either you use all the time or it gives you inspiration, or maybe it's just a little memento that reminds you of something special you did. Let me know in the comments.